All right, welcome race fans once again to MaxSpeedTV. We have another great race for you here tonight. Tonight is the UDRA Late Model Series presented by MaxSpeedTV. As we see some cars going flipping there. It looks like the 99 took a wild ride. Again, this is practice, so no harm done. These guys are just getting out there. So it looks like we have about 32, 33 drivers, so a huge field once again for the Ultra Dirt Racing Association race. I do expect to see a lot of great racing. Before we get into all of that, though, we want to go through all the sponsors that make all of this possible here for MaxSpeedTV and the UDRA. On the side of MaxSpeedTV, we want to give a big shout out to SimSpeedShop.com. For all your sim needs. Check them out for some great button box and other great items for your sim rig. HREMotorsports.com. Make sure you check them out on Facebook as well. And Elite 7 Racing. Make sure you check them out as well. Give them a like on their page. Let them know you heard about it here on MaxSpeedTV. A lot of you are going to be watching it on the UDR page and on Virtual to Reality here tonight. That is courtesy of virtual2reality.tv. They said, go ahead, put this on our page as well. So big shout out to them for doing that. And after this race tonight, we'll tell you how to get a 3-month code to iRacing. If you have not been here before, if you're looking to get into it, we can help you out with a 3-month free code. And all of this being able to stream 2 Facebook pages at the same time is courtesy of Dirtco Media House. A big shout out to them for allowing us to do that, paying the funds so that we can. And our newest sponsor here at MaxSpeedTV is Ohio IndyCar League. If you are in the Ohio club here on iRacing, you want to get into some IndyCar racing, definitely give them a shout out. On the racing side of things here for the league, they have a ton of great sponsors that have put a lot of time and money and effort into this. One of those being Dirt Division. They are on Facebook, so make sure you go check them out and give them a shout out for doing so. Pit Buddies Barbecue, another one. Check them out on Facebook and on their website. Let them know you like that they support what we do here for the racing. Kings of Dirt, you are going to see some of their drivers in here tonight. Definitely go check out their Facebook page and give them a thumbs up and thank them for putting in to this race. Dirt All Access, again, another great Facebook page here, another great group in general, putting time and money into this, so definitely check them out on Facebook. Castle Car Wash, you got to go, if you have not, find where one of these are and definitely go check them out and get some of that Dragon Foam Bath. It is the best around. Spinner Simulation, definitely check them out. They have some great sim products. If you're looking to get into a full-size rig here and you want to put your best foot forward on racing, make sure you check them out. D. Hinman's Wrecker Service. Definitely, if you get in a wreck, why not call them? Again, D. Hinman's Wrecker Service. And last but not least, Capron Screen Printing and Graphic Design. If you need any screen printing or graphic design, make sure you check them out. Again, that is Capron Screen Printing and Graphic Design. But again, we are here with the Ultra Dirt Racing Association, and it is going to be a great race. We do have in the booth with me here tonight, alongside me, again, as always, my name is Charles Gorse. Most of you know me. We have Matt Hicks in here. He's getting everything set up right now, so we do have him. So, Matt, first off, it's your first race in here. Are you looking forward to some exciting racing?
Hey, yeah, Charles, thanks again for having me, man. I really appreciate you guys and appreciate the opportunity. Looking forward to some really good racing tonight. You know, Knoxville is, when I think of historic racetracks in the country, Knoxville's right up there on the top of the list and offers a lot of different surprises and a lot of different things for the drivers to think about and worry about. And I'm looking forward to some great action tonight. You know, Knoxville always delivers.
Yeah, definitely this is going to be some exciting racing. We got about 20 minutes here in practice. So right now we're seeing a lot of fast drivers in here. Greg Thompson is the fastest with an 18.198. So we'll keep an eye on all of that. But before we get into all of the stuff, we do have some cool stuff to let y'all know about here in just a little bit. We might pull a driver up here. We'll see if you do you have any particular driver you want to pull up? Anyone you saw earlier that you want to have a chat with?
Was that Charles?
Did you do you have any particular driver you want to talk to that you might have saw in practice?
Yeah. I don't know. Let's talk to Shane James. Is he down there?
I believe he is. Let's see. We'll pull him up here. All right, Shane James, you got a copy. Oh, may not be able to hear us over the car. I believe he is in there though. So Shane James, you got a copy? Oh, well, he may be away from his mic, so we'll put him back down in there. We'll see if we can get another driver in here for a quick interview. Let's see what we got a lot of good drivers in here, so picking one is very hard to do. Let's see. We haven't ever got to interview Drew Herchko. Let's try him, see if he's here. Drew Herchko, you got a copy? And we don't have any copies here tonight. We're having 0 for 0 luck here. Drew Herchko has his mic muted here, so unfortunately we can't get with him either. Oh, there you go.
Hi, everybody, what's going on?
Ah, there we go. We're 0 for 1, 1 for 0, whatever you want to call it. But we got you in here in the booth. So we're going to talk to you a little bit. I believe Matt here might have a few questions for you. So first off, welcome to the booth. And Matt, what do you have for him here tonight?
How you doing, Drew?
I'm hanging in there. How you doing?
Good, man. I'm really good. Tell the viewers out there what you think about the Knoxville Speedway or the Knoxville Raceway, and what it kind of takes to get around Knoxville, and what some of the variables are that a driver's looking for during a race.
Well, it's the newest track that we have on the service, so it's still one that a lot of people are trying to figure out, especially, I mean, I don't know how many guys in here ran races longer than the standard 40 laps on Knoxville, so for a 75-lap race like tonight, it's going to be something that's probably really worn out, and you're going to be searching in a lot of places for grip. Some people, I mean, depending on if they have the setup and the foot skills with the right and left foot, they can probably run through the middle faster than a lot of people can run in the good stuff. So it'll definitely widen out over 75 laps and be a good race to watch for sure.
Yeah, you're talking about the kind of wearing out. Do you think tire management's going to be key tonight?
I think a little bit. I mean, it's really about on that point, like picking the right gear, and I mean, thankfully, iRacing's kind of graced us with tires that don't give up too much. So these Hoosiers should stay on pretty good all night, and shouldn't be much due to tire wear that if you see people falling back towards the end of the race.
All right, Drew, appreciate it, man. Thanks and good luck tonight. Thank you, and good luck, man.
Yeah, fellas. Hopefully, we'll be talking to you at the end. Thanks, Charles.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see you back here later. All right, again, that was Drew Herchko. He is one of those Elite 7 drivers that sponsor us here on MaxSpeedTV. A very fast group of guys. Matt, I know obviously this is your first race here, but if you keep an eye on Howard Weaver, he is going to be one here to watch. Definitely Jacob Fields, Jason George. Last I recall, Virgil Graham was pretty fast. Obviously, Shane James, a very fast driver. Greg Thompson, he must be fast. He's at the top of the charts right now. Drew Herchko, Fiddler, a lot of these guys, Tommy Rowe, we watch them week in and week out in other leagues race and even in official races, and they will put on a good show here at the front of this race later on tonight.
Yeah, I agree with you, Charles. Like you were saying, the guys that you had mentioned, Virgil Graham, Howard Weaver, Shane James, those guys are the top late model, not only the top late model guys, but, the top, dirt late model, dirt modified guys on the iRacing deal right now. And for those guys that show up here at Knoxville, that just says to me that it's going to be a great show tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I do expect it. Let's see if we can't find another one. Look at this. Maybe we'll talk to Nate Davis. He just recently picked up a new sponsor, so we'll see if he has any words of wisdom for all the fans out there. Nate Davis, you got a copy.
Yes, sir.
Well, first off, we just got you the other day. You picked up a new sponsor here. Obviously not for this race. It was for a sprint car. But comparing the two, you got the 360 Sprints versus these late models. I believe they are the super late models. So comparing those two, apples to oranges, are they somewhere in the same ballpark? Let the fans out there know, what is the major difference between these two cars?
Oh man, no, they're completely different driving styles and everything. These supers, I mean, they're so much throttle control, it's crazy. Like you're barely on the throttle in the corners. You got to roll into it just right to get the speed down the straights. If not, you just you spin the tires and you don't make up any ground on anybody.
Well, definitely going to be a good race. So, Matt, you have any questions for Matt or for Davis here?
How you doing, Davis?
Pretty good. How you doing, bud?
Good, man. I'm good. Knoxville, it widens out a whole lot. I mean, from your experience from your practice, earlier today, have you been? What do you think the preferred line's going to be later on in the race? Is it going to be up on the bottom? Is it going to be in the top or the middle? Or you think we're going to get a little bit of all three?
It'll definitely be both sides. Just how your car's set up. I'm sure everybody's going to flock to the bottom at first until that high side gets wore in. But I mean, the high side can be fast here for sure. Especially got your car set up for it, you can get those runs down the straightaway, extra grip up there. Because I mean, the bottom's already pretty slick. It's just who's getting the grip coming out of the corners to get the runs.
All right. Well, Davis, good luck tonight, man.
Thank you, guys.
All right, again, that was Nate Davis. It looks like we got about 12 and a half minutes left. We're getting really close to, again, we got that announcement coming up that you're going to talk about, a little giveaway. But before we get to that, we're going to talk a little bit about, you have some of those track facts for us here. So let the fans out there know a little bit about this track. It is a very iconic track.
Yeah, it really is, Charles. Knoxville Raceway, I had said earlier in the broadcast, when I think of Knoxville, I think of that's one of the top two historic dirt tracks in the country, and the other one that comes to mind is Eldora. So you have Knoxville and Eldora. Knoxville, it held its first automobile race in 1901. 1901, and they started weekly shows and weekly racing in 1954. So this year, 2018, is going to be 65 continuous years that Knoxville's been in operation. Obviously, it's known as the sprint car capital of the world. It's the home of the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame. But in 2004, they took a chance and started the late model Knoxville Nationals in 2004, and it's really kind of hard to believe that this year, going into 2018, is going to be its 14th year for the late model Knoxville Nationals. It doesn't really seem that long that it's been going, and it just seems like it keeps getting stronger year by year. And I mean, you've got guys like Bloomquist and Marlar and Francis and Lanigan and McCready and Burkhofer as winners of that race. Even though this is on the virtual platform of a driver can get in victory lane at Knoxville, that's really saying something to join that kind of company.
Yeah, definitely, and it makes you wonder, going on 14 years of the Knoxville Nationals, this track being so iconic, we have seen since the beginning of dirt coming to iRacing last year around December, it already exploded. Then you come around with the Chili Bowl, and it really exploded when you had people like Christopher Bell, Kyle Larson running iRacing paint jobs, and it has gotten huge. It makes you wonder how long it's going to be till we see a Knoxville Nationals, like an actual Knoxville Nationals, maybe partnered with them or with a huge sponsor. We've already seen the D1RT Winter Classic with 1,000 to win. So how long is it till we see a Knoxville Nationals with 2,000 or 3,000 to win here on the virtual side of things?
Charles, I'm with you on that, and I don't think it's going to be long. Like you said, this platform iRacing is exploding. With the sprint guys, with the NASCAR guys, like you said, with Christopher Bell and Rico Abreu and those guys. Now it's, I just think the sky's the limit, and I really don't think it's going to be that long before we see it explode and really turn into something really, really big.
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to get really big really fast. Technically, it already has.
That's true. That's true. It has.
And I know for people out there, later on this year, as far as to my knowledge, there's no confirmed date. We already know we are getting it. It'll just be later in the year. We're going to be getting the Chili Bowl. So you very well could see a Chili Bowl come up here shortly, or the Tulsa Shootout, if we ever get mini sprints. But we know Lima Land's coming in March. So that's another huge track that's coming to iRacing. So, with every track we get, the chances of a big money race or something like that at some of these tracks, it just gets closer and closer with every day.
That's true. And my big thing, is I just want the fans out there and the viewers out there to understand. I see a lot of comments and stuff going through the comment box all the time. All the video game, is this a video game? I just want everybody to understand out there that it is a simulation game, and the competition is real, and the setups are real, and the tracks are laser scanned, and I mean, just every feature of these racetracks are there to, so the drivers have to deal with them. The track changes constantly, just like in a real life scenario, and that's what I want everybody to understand, that this is real racing. It may not be. You may not be able to smell it or hear, or get all those things that you get at a racetrack in the real world, but the competition is no less just because it's on a virtual platform.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, lost my train of thought there, but it's just ridiculous how big it's gotten so quick.
That's true.
And I just don't even know where it's gonna go. We had someone in chat just now saying that iRacing is doing the King's Royal. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that is at Eldora. So
it is. You can't get much bigger than that.
Yeah. So right there, John, just
pretty
to
major.
show it. It's just crazy how big it is. And, it seems like every day we wake up and there's something new coming out, and they're improving something. I wouldn't be believe before long we may actually have some kind of smell vision. You never know. We'll be smelling the fuel of these cars. But that's what I was going to talk about, is on the long lines of this being a sim. Yes, they want to put UI in here for offline mode. That seems like a game to me, in my opinion. But this is a sim. I mean, just for the broadcasting side of things, I've probably got, $5,000 to $10,000 invested in the monitors, computers, and all of that, overlays. And these guys have even more than that in some of these, when they have full cockpits with 3 monitors, VR headsets, really expensive gaming computers. I mean, some of these people that have these full rigs could darn well actually build a mini stock to go out and race. They have so much money invested in these rigs.
That's true. You see it every day. You can get on the internet and just research iRacing, and even the rigs that the drivers are using. Max Pappas and those guys are developing these things that you can that you can download the track characteristics in, just like it's got the hydraulics on each corner where the driver can actually move the driver around and feel the characteristics of the racetrack. I mean, it's just unbelievable the technology that is involved in this whole iRacing deal.
Yeah, and like I said, on the simulation side, they make this so real. Don't kid yourself out there if you've never been on iRacing out there watching tonight. They form ruts on these tracks, and with these wheels, I mean, you're talking, these wheels are only $300-400, some of them getting more expensive. They have force feedback. They have all of it just like a real wheel, and when you hit these ruts and other cars in the wall, it yanks that wheel like a real car would. It's a workout in one of these. You hear people out of breath and sweating when they get done with these races sometimes.
That's a fact. I've watched some videos, and just with the force feedback steering wheels, I've seen guys let go of them and they just go completely in the opposite direction. I've seen guys take the actual steering wheel that have came off that has came with that they purchased and taken it off and put the steering wheel from their race car on there, just to give them a feel like they have in their regular car. So just the possibilities are endless of how it can not only develop as an independent thing, but the possibilities are endless of how it can help drivers develop their driving careers.
Yeah, and
how it can transition over to their real world driving.
And you've seen a lot of these NASCAR drivers, like Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell, Tony Stewart, I believe, who was it, Clint Boyer's coming over here, that are using this for practice when they can't get out to the real track. I mean, that just shows you how detailed this is. And yeah, you got those people, it's $110 a year. Well, $110 is not bad if you want to further your career. There have been people that have actually got rides. I believe, I can't think of his name, Ty Majeski. Goes and actually got a ride in an Xfinity car. It can lead to real racing, so it's well worth $110 to race every year.
Yeah, that's true. And one of the names that come to my mind is William Byron. I mean, one of the next new stars in NASCAR, or the rising stars who just made it to the Cup level, going to start his first Daytona 500 on the 18th. I mean, William Byron came up in the iRacing and the simulation deal, and he really didn't get into, I think, a Legends car or that Legends series that they run at Charlotte and Atlanta until he was, up in his teen years, and iRacing helped get him into that deal. So, I mean, when you're talking about developing a career and getting a young kid on the right path, I mean, iRacing is maybe something that some of you parents may want to check out.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like we got about 2.5 minutes, so before we forget about it, I kind of slipped my mind, but get to those giveaway we have going on here tonight.
Well, we wanted to really do something, and we've got a competition going on tonight. We've got Team VLR and Howard Weaver in the house, and we've got Team HRE and Shane James in the house. And what we're going to do is we're going to have you fans comment all the way up until the feature begins, and we'll stop taking comments. But what we're going to do is we're going to let you comment, and then we're going to let you get of who you think is going to finish ahead of who in the feature, and then if you get it right, whoever finishes ahead of who will take those fans' comments that got it right, and we'll put them in a drawing for a $30 gift card for Bass Pro Shop.
Yeah, and can't go wrong with
all you gotta do
Bass
is
Pro
comment
Shop.
who you think's going to fit for Shane James, and then at the end of the feature, we'll take those fans that commented right, we'll put them in a drawing, and the winner will get a $30 gift card from Bass Pro Shops.
Yeah, you definitely can't go wrong with Bass Pro Shop, one of the best sporting stores out there. As we got about a minute left, so definitely make sure you put your comments in. We'll be checking the comments on, I know we're on Facebook, 2 different Facebook pages, and on YouTube, so we'll go back and check all of those after the race. I'm sure we'll have Chris and his admins going to Facebook, and I'll check YouTube for us. So we'll check all of that. So make sure you put it in there. Who's going to finish ahead of who? Howard Weaver or Shane James? It could get interesting if we see them both battling for first. That would be very interesting.
Yeah, I talked to both of them, Charles, before the race. I talked to both of them a little bit yesterday, and they're both really excited. So maybe it'll help them ramp up the intensity a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I think it will. As we got about 15 seconds here left in practice. So that 30 minutes went by very quick. So next up is qualifying, followed by the national anthem, and some ads for some of our sponsors like Dirt Division and all of that. But that'll be coming up here in a minute. Next is qualifying. They're still battling. They're all the way to the very last minute. till they could finally be pulled off the track. They were running it out, so it's not going to matter now because qualifying is underway. So this is going to get interesting. I want to see who comes out on top here, as right now we're watching Cole Newhoff, and he's a very young driver, but already getting some sponsors here, like Sim's Speed Shop. It's going to be interesting to see, you know, just kind of how everything plays out, who comes out on top. But I do like I said, I look to see our main guys up there here for tonight's race. Nobody's put in a time just yet. As there they will once again, Greg Thompson up to the top of the charts with a 19.070. So very interesting here. I'm not sure what it shows on yours here in iRacing, but Greg Thompson and both Aaron Paul both ran a 19.070. So they're actually tied for first place right now.
Yeah, 19.070, Charles, that's a pretty quick lap to be the first out of the gate around Knoxville. That's a pretty quick lap.
Yeah, that is a blistering fast time, and for both of them to tie on the same time is even crazier. As you look back, there's Garrett Nieberge, though, just ran a 19.022, followed by Jacob Fields with a 19.026. So these times are not done; they're getting faster and faster as we go.
That's for sure.
Again, we want to cover everybody here, but there's just so many of them. I mean, over 35, almost 40 drivers here. We cannot cover everyone. We're trying to cover the top people best we can. Howard Weaver just ran a 19.041. Let's put him in third. So again, you can't always look at the top there on the overlays, and that is the interval here between first and second, so you can kind of see where your driver is starting, as Josh Phillips is now, well, never mind, Josh Phillips is going to go to second. There's the one of them in the battle right there, Shane James, 18.968. What a time.
What a lap.
That is just crazy.
Can you say announce your business with authority?
Yeah, that's what he's doing. He needs to change that. It doesn't need to be Team Friday. It needs to be Team Freaky Fast is what it needs to be. He needs to get a sponsorship from, what is that, sub place? I can't think of their name now.
I forgot.
I'm having a brain lapse here. Yeah, I cannot. Their whole slogan is Freaky Fast. Is it Jimmy John's?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jimmy John's. Yeah.
He needs to be sponsored by them because that is a freaky fast time. Howard Weaver, though, just ran an 18.916. So,
boy,
there's your two drivers right there at the top. So this could get interesting.
About the intensity ramping up.
Yeah, it's gonna do it. Mike Molnar out on the track right now with a 19.124. But again, Howard Weaver 18.916. Shane James 18.968. The only three guys have hit 18 seconds. Josh Phillips is the other one. So that's going to put them on pole, side by side, pole and outside pole. This could not get any more exciting here tonight. But we actually have to step away. We're getting a little carried away. So we'll be right back here in just a minute with your grid. So don't go anywhere.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All right, we are back here with your feature race. 24 of the fastest drivers here on iRacing. So definitely going to be some great racing. But before we do anything, we want to do the grid here for you. Again, this is your Dirt Division starting grid for the feature race for the UDRA Late Model Series presented by MaxSpeedTV, as they're just about ready to roll off for 75 laps. Starting on row 1 is going to be Howard Weaver and Shane James. That's going to be a very interesting race to watch there. Row 2 is going to be Josh Phillips and Garrett Nieberge. Row 3 is going to be Jacob Fields and Drew Hirschko. Row 4 is going to be Virgil Graham and Greg Thompson. We'll keep an eye on Greg Thompson. He was the fastest in practice. Row 5 is going to be Aaron Paul and Jesse Enterkin. Hopefully, Enterkin, hopefully we get that right. Row 6 is going to be Mike Molnar and Tommy Rowe. Row 7 is going to be John Fiddler and Brad Dyer. Row 8 is going to be Ian Blanchard and Tyler Collette. Row 9 is going to be Randall Carter and David Hillman. Row 10 is going to be Zach Rounds and Blake Cannon. Row 11, Richard Stallings and Jason George. And rounding out the fields here tonight in row 12 is going to be Mark Molnar and Fast Phil Neese. So Philip Neese rounding out the fields here tonight. I do expect to see a fantastic night of racing.
Hey, all right, guys. You know, we have that giveaway going on. You've got just another couple pace laps to get a comment in who's going to finish higher, Shane James or Howard Weaver. Get it in there, and because once we go green, we're not going to take any more comments.
This should be a good race. Those two, we've seen them race over and over again, so it's going to be interesting to see who finishes where out of this group. And there it is. Sure. Green flag is out. We're racing here in your feature race. Again, 24 of the fastest drivers here on iRacing. And Howard Weaver out to a huge lead really quick, but Shane James is behind him. But Garrett Nieberge and Josh Phillips racing right now for a third position, as those two are going to try to knock it out here. They're beating and banging just a little bit there with the wall and each other, as it looks like the number 19 of Garrett Nieberge is going to take the position. But I'm not sure if Phillips in the 12 is going to keep battling. Again, this is going to be a very fantastic race. So far, we are caution-free. Lap number 3 starting now. And I see a little bit of blinking from Mark Molnar, so that's may pose a problem for here in this race. Take a look back here. Drew Hirschko back in 6th position. Another one we're going to keep an eye on right in front of him is the 007 of Jacob Fields. Those are teammates, so we'll look to see them work together as they're going to try to work over Nieberge and Shane James. Shane James is in 2nd place right now, but he's got company coming from Nieberge. Nieberge's right on his back bumper. 75 laps. These guys have to hold off this field for a long time, as a caution is going to come out for the first time. Taking a look, it's going to be David Hillman upside down on the track.
Yeah, you know, Charles, during that little first green flag run there, you know, the track looked like it was had a little bit more than one groove to offer. You know, the top was maybe trying to work a little bit, so it'll be interesting to see if they go back green, what kind of how long of a run that we get, how those grooves kind of develop, if the bottom stays good or if the top actually keeps to develop.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm not sure who that was during that caution. We just watched the replay. The 83 Aaron Paul actually got turned around, and the 74 of David Hilleman actually launched off the front of his car and used him as a ramp and flipped David over. So that is what brought out the caution. So very interesting here. First caution, quite a doozy here, as we have our first car flipping. If I do recall, they are doing double file restart here. So that's going to put Shane James and Howard Weaver right back to where they started here, side by side.
Almost like a complete redo.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if they gave Howard Weaver the option to pick what lane he wanted to be in, as he is actually on the outside, and he was your leader. So he may have opted
I
for
think
the
that
outside.
may be a good choice. I think that may be a good choice, Charles, with the way things were kind of developing behind him. He might want to be up there to kind of see how it goes.
Yeah, and he is going
Kind
to
of see what's up there.
Here we go. Green flag is back out once again. We are racing Howard Weaver to a good start, but not as good as the original start, as he's got company from Shane James all over his back bumper, along with Phillips, Niebergy, and Fields trying to get into the mix as well, as Niebergy is just right there trying to get it, and they're stacking up behind him right now. But everybody does manage to hang off. Again, we don't want to give them all the spotlight, because if you look back behind these guys, actually there for a second, I thought they were going to have a lead change, but we don't. So we're going to jump back one more time. Look at the group behind these right now. You have a huge battle going on for about 5th position, as it looks like there's a huge pile up further back, and people are actually driving on the berm down there, as a caution is indeed going to come out. And it looks like it's going to involve the 313 of Greg Thompson this time.
Well, that's just a product back in the pack racing. You know, everybody's trying to jockey for position, and everybody's trying to find their spot on the racetrack. And you know, sometimes you just can't get away from each other. You know, things like that happen.
Yeah, definitely. That was several cars. Looks like 313 to 17 or 175. I believe it was. No, it was a 17 to Richard Stallings. Sometimes he runs a different number. So not too much damage. Obviously, the 313 Greg Thompson is out of this race now. Was the only one getting the majority of the damage there. So far, only one driver is officially out of this race, and that is Greg Thompson right now. So let's take a look at our cautions. 2 cautions for 6 laps. We still have 64 laps to go.
That 64 laps is a long time on this big half mile, Charles, and
yes.
You know, maybe these guys need to settle down a little bit and realize that it's a long way to go, and just kind of get the flow of the race going and see how, you know, let them see how things develop from there. You know. Yeah,
definitely, and why not here? We do have an onboard camera, so let's go on board for this restart here with Shane James, courtesy of T&D Rustic Decor onboard camera. So we'll get a feel of what it's like to be in his shoes, chasing down Howard Weaver. Again, this is for kind of bragging rights, and obviously I believe there's $25 on the line. Don't quote me on that. But also for the fans out there, somebody could walk away with some Bass Pro Shop gift cards, so they want to know too. So it looks like Shane James is on the outside this time.
Yep. I don't think Howard really liked how that developed last time.
No, definitely not. As he didn't get as good a start out there as he probably would wanted to either. So he's going to opt for the inside this time.
Right. That's for sure.
Looks like they're getting ready for it. There it is. Green flag's back out. Howard Weaver gets back to the front. As again, you're riding on board with Shane James right now. You can see the back end of the number 7 of Howard Weaver. So he is putting on a good run here. But we're going to switch back to our main camera here. As you can see, they're beating and banging behind them, and major contacts being made back here between the 19, the 42, the 56. All these guys beating and banging. As even the 26 of Drew Hirschko is going to get some contact with the 23 of Virgil Graham. So these guys are not linting. There goes the 26. It spins out the 97. Caution is going to come out once again.
Wow.
These guys are not holding back at all right now, as that was actually Mark Molnar in the 97 that got spun out. So let's go back and take a look at it.
I think that started on up toward the, looked like a little bit of a chain reaction deal to me, didn't it?
Yeah, it might have been there. Everyone's just being extremely aggressive here tonight. Again, I don't believe.
Oh, it just.
Oh, good. Yeah, that was a hard lick to the back of the 97 from Drew Hirschko.
That was. He got turned.
It's kind of weird and ironic to think about it. I believe they're running for 25 to win, and I think, if I do recall, Southern Indiana Lawn Care, Nate Davis, we talked to him earlier, put $10 to second. Last week was 100 to win. These guys are driving like it's 100 to win out here. They are being really aggressive already. And they're not being overly, like, wrecking on purpose aggressive, trying to get that money. Just a lot of, they're not giving and taking a whole lot. They're doing a lot of taking, but not much giving.
Yeah. You know, Knoxville is notorious. I mean, it's kind of deceiving, you know. It's big and it's wide, and but it's really, really easy to, once you go into the corner or something, it's very easy to get in over your head. And once you're committed, you're already committed. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened there. It looked like, I mean, it was a hard hit, but it really didn't damage too much. We'll see if he can recover back from it, as it looks like we're once again ready for the green flag. All right, there it is. Green flag's out. Lap number 19 out, and a caution immediately before we even complete a lap, and it's going to be Blake Cannon going around at the line. So once again, caution comes out. We didn't even get everyone across the line. Blake Cannon going around, so we'll take back a look, see what kind of happened here. Oh, there goes the everyone kind of shuffled in. I don't know if I'd blame the 19 that did spin him around. We'll take a look. That is Garrett Nieberge. I wouldn't necessarily say he did spin him. I mean, well, he did spin him, but it wasn't really probably his fault. You had a lot of cars that just kind of wadded up there and didn't start as good.
Yeah, I agree. I think that was probably a product of just some guys not having a good start and not firing off like wanted to. I don't see. That to me, that was just a racing deal.
Yeah, definitely. The lights are still on, so we'll take a look at our top 5 real fast. Again, as we predicted here, they started out front. It's still Howard Weaver and Shane James out front. But we look in third. You have Jacob Fields, Josh Phillips. We don't get to see him race too often. John Fiddler in fifth. If anybody's going to give those front two a run for their money, it'll be Fields, Fiddler, and again Phillips we don't get to see a whole lot, but I have a feeling those top 3 or third, fourth, and fifth will probably give them a run for their money later in this race.
Yeah, I'm sure you're right, Charles. That top 3 or 4 guys are where the race is going to be decided at. If we can just get going green and get a good green flag run in, and actually get some racing in, and see kind of how it plays out.
Yeah, and speaking of that, green flag is back out, lap 23 of 75. So we are about a third of the way done with this race. So far, quite a few cautions, more than I expected with this group of guys, as we have a lot of guys. Now Blake Cannon is on the track. He was having, looked like a connection issue there. It disappeared for just a minute. It looks like we got a huge battle going on right now for second position, as Jacob Fields and Josh Phillips are going to battle it out. But right behind them, they're trying to make it 3 wide for Fiddler, Dyer, and Colette getting into the mix now too. We were watching him the other day. He joined HRE Motorsports, and he has come alive here, as now we've got to see him race more often. These guys still trying to make it 3 wide right now back here for 4th, and none of them wanting to give it up right now, as it looks like Fiddler's going to fall to 6th position. He looks like he may have got into the wall just a little bit there, and let's hopefully that does not cause too much damage to that car. But really, back up front, Howard Weaver's pretty much dominating this race right now. He has led all 26 laps. So Howard Weaver out front. Shane James, 0.733 seconds behind him right now. So I'm not sure if Shane James' car is falling off, or if he's just kind of laying back, trying to conserve and try to make a run here at the end of this race.
I think that is kind of maybe what he's doing. This run here looks like it's going to have a little bit of a green feel to it, so he may be just kind of settling in and looking and watching Howard Weaver and what his line is, and just kind of riding, not letting him get too far ahead of him, but just to see. But a guy like Howard Weaver, you don't want him to get too far ahead of you.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering right now, is if he's maybe gotten a little far ahead, as he's got 0.916 seconds over Shane James. And now you've got Jacob Fields coming into the mix.
That's it.
So
that bottom doesn't look like it's working for Shane James. I don't know if his car is married down there and he can't move up off the bottom, but he might want to try to move up a lane in the middle or on the top at least, because it doesn't look like it's working too good for him down there in the bottom.
And caution is going to come out. The 97 of Mark Molnar again. We'll go back and see if he had any help with this one. Again, he was running side by side with the 26. This time it looked like he may have come down a little bit and got into the 26. Again, that is Drew Hirschko. So reverse roll this time. It looked like he may have come off a little bit. Hirschko's back into that car, may have gone up just a little bit, trying to get through the turn. But once again, those two tangling together, and caution comes out. So I don't know if anybody's picked Howard Weaver in chat as to finish out front, but if they did, they got a good shot of winning this right now. He has led all 32 laps here.
Yep, he's we knew he was going to be tough coming in. Howard's tough everywhere he goes and in everything he gets in.
Yeah, it seems like I've worked with Howard before, broadcasted for him, helped him with some overlays he's making. He's like a jack of all trades. He runs a league, he makes overlays, he races fast. I'm beginning to wonder if there's anything this guy can't do other than lose a race, because it doesn't seem like he knows how to do that. So it's going to be interesting.
That's
to
for
see.
sure. You don't see that too often.
No, and if it is going to happen, I have a feeling it's going to be one of those top 3 right now. Again, either Howard Weaver, Shane James, or Jacob Fields getting into the mix. I'm not going to count anybody out yet. Again, as we take a look here at our cautions, if they'll pull up, we are having a little lag, but we are trying to fix that. We've only had, I believe, 4 cautions here, so could get very interesting to see who comes out on top.
If this goes green, if the caution, if we don't get too many more cautions, I still wouldn't count out that Jacob Fields either.
Yeah, definitely not. As we are racing once again, lap 35 of 75 underway right now, and you still see Shane James on the bottom. As if you look close, we're going to take a look here. We're going to zoom in just a little bit here. Go back to Shane James, and we'll watch on the backstretch here as we're on the front stretch right now. When they go past that backstretch, it is bumpy as Shane James is going to try to make a move for the lead. Can't quite make it happen. And you can see right there, it has got to be a handful on that backstretch. It is all sorts of rutted up right now. As now it looks like Shane James has kind of fallen off once again, and he's got Jacob Fields all over his back bumper. Again, those are your top three we're watching right now. And I'm wondering, we saw a couple of cars earlier get into that outside wall on the backstretch. Those ruts may be playing a huge factor in this race right now.
They could be, Charles. The holes and ruts can easily manipulate how a race car handles.
Yeah, and it's so weird as you see all of them going through it violently there. Coming out of turn 1 and 2, Shane James has the momentum, but coming out of 3 and 4, it looks like it's Howard Weaver. So it looks like the bottom is working in 1 and 2 right now, but in 3 and 4, it's the high side that's working. So that's going to make it very interesting here, as you're going to have to change your lane in each corner.
Yeah, absolutely.
It looks like Howard Weaver's going to take to the bottom now, as he actually took to the bottom here in 1 and 2 and slid it all the way up, hit the grip, and just took off. So he has got that thing. He's running the perfect line right now. He slides to where he can and hits the grip, and it just propels him to the front.
Yeah, that's one of the cool things about Knoxville is you can get in a four-wheel slide and slide through the slick into the rubber or the brown or whatever. So that's one of the unique characteristics about Knoxville.
Yeah, and I said we don't want to focus too much on these guys. We want to give people in the back some time, but literally these two are side by side coming across the line, so we don't want to miss any of the racing action up here at the front either. As right now it is a huge battle. Howard Weaver getting a little out of shape there because of that rut in the backstretch. Shane James is just doesn't have, it seems like, the speed he needs in that slick right now. He's going to have to choose a different line, I think, if he wants to get by. But the problem is Howard Weaver's in that top line where a little bit of moisture is, so he can't pass him if he's going to have to rear end him to do it. So he's got to pick somewhere else to go.
Well, that's true. Weaver may be running where Shane wants to run, and he just can't get up there to run.
Yeah, and see right there, coming out of 3, Shane James has so much momentum, or at least in the mid turn 3, but turn 2, my bad, coming in to turn 3 and 4, Howard just has the momentum. So it seems like maybe 1 and 2 has not slicked off quite as much, as right there you see him again, has the momentum, but then Howard Weaver pulls it out with that momentum he has from what little grip there is left up at the top of that track.
Well, Shane James has got a great entry in it in 1.
Yeah, he definitely does. It's just and that pull coming out of the corner that Howard has, that's what's keeping him ahead right now. If he wants to slip up or get into that wall, I have a feeling Shane James would probably take the lead.
He probably would, but it's at that high side momentum, off the corners, that's hard to beat coming off the bottom, especially with a track that's not as banked, that's, really not as high banked as like Knoxville is. It really takes a really strong race car to make that pass off the bottom.
Yeah, definitely, and we'll take a look back here, back to around 10th place. We still got good battles going on throughout here. We'll keep an eye on those top 2 to see what we see going on if the times do get smaller there between. But right now, Howard Weaver does have a .883 second lead over Shane James. But you got a good little battle going on here right now between Jesse Intrican and Jason George back for 9th position. As those two are side by side coming to the line, and it's going to be Jason George as he scrapes the wall once going right there across it. To update everyone, only 2 drivers are out of this race right now. 3 off the track, 2 completely out. One of them is David Hilleman, in the 74, Greg Thompson in the 313, and Chris Lorencia is on pit road right now. So the owner of this league finishing right now in 25th, as he's been on pit road for almost 7 minutes, so that's unfortunate for him.
Yeah, I hate that for Chris. You know, he was kind of optimistic coming in tonight. Didn't think he was too happy with his race car, so looks like he's still continuing to have some problems.
Yeah, and speaking of problems, not sure what's going on with the 138, Tommy Rowe, another driver that runs VLR a lot, and we're used to seeing him pretty fast up towards the front. He's back in 20th right now. He's on the lead lap. Everyone that is on track, with the exception of David Hillman, who actually is on the track, he is not out. He is just having some connection issues and thought he was out of the race. But with the exception of him, 4 laps down, everyone is on the lead lap. So these leaders are fast, but they're not fast enough to put anyone a lap down at the moment.
That's true, but we've not really had that big of a green flag run yet for the leaders to catch the back of the field. So
that is
we'll
true.
see what happens if we can go green here another 15, 20 laps and see if we can't get into some lap traffic.
And just as we go back to the front, we just noticed that time was getting smaller. Shane James just got passed by Jacob Fields. So not sure Shane James's car is fading off. I believe this is an open setup. So his car may not be set up for these long green flag runs. He may be setting it up for short runs, expecting a lot of cautions.
You may be right, and like we said, you know, don't count out Jacob Fields. You know, he's shown a lot of speed tonight.
Yeah, definitely. And it seems like maybe it's just an ill-handling car now. When this track has slicked off, is watching Jacob Fields, he's able to get through that slick a lot better than Shane James was, as he is running down Howard Weaver right now, 0.2 to 0.3 seconds behind. So he's running down the leader very quickly with lap 57.
Running him down in a hurry.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. If Fields can run through that slick as well as he is right now, and that track is only going to get more and more slick, that grip up at the top that Howard Weaver is counting on is fading away with every lap, then that could pose a problem for him, as now they're literally side by side, and for a split second, it looked like Fields and that 007 machine had the lead.
Yeah. I think Howard Weaver's going to have to do some definite re-evaluation on the line that he's running here very shortly.
Yeah, definitely, because that line is not going to be working for much longer. There still is a grip, but it looks like the line, too, that Fields is running just a little bit below where Weaver is. It's not as bumpy, which does cost him less momentum when he goes out of there, as Fields is going to move up just a little bit, looking for that perfect line to try to get by Howard Weaver and pick up a win here tonight. We'll see. It looks like somebody's going to pit road. Looks like the 74, David Hillman, going back to pit road. So we'll see. He may be retiring it here for the night. As we'll go back up to your front 2 cars again, with about 12, 15 laps to go or so. We're going to hang tight with these guys here for a minute. Again, unfortunate for Shane James, as he has fallen off quite a bit here in the last few laps.
He just, I think he just missed it tonight, maybe, Charles. You know, he just missed it with the way the track conditions are. You know, it happens.
Yeah, definitely. And also, too, with open setup like this, you know, he could have been counting on, like I said, more cautions and fuel. He may have more fuel in there. And as everybody's worn off or burned off some of that fuel, these guys are getting lighter and a little bit faster. And he could have more fuel in there that's slowing him down, too.
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely a possibility.
And it looks like we'll look over here to Howard Weaver. I can't tell who that is. But I did see a lap car, I do believe, in front of Howard Weaver coming up. And there is. It's the 17 of Richard Stallings. With 10 laps to go here next time by. We have 11 to go right now, 10 next time. I'm not sure if they're going to catch Richard Stallings or not, as his last lap was a 19.801. compared to a 19.2. So they probably will catch him, and he's running right where Howard Weaver's running right now.
Oh, that's not a good thing. So obviously that's probably in Weaver's mind right now about what to do if he does catch dogs.
Yeah, and he is catching him very fast, and looks like he's actually going to take it to the bottom. So it won't be a factor for him. But they have another car. Ian Blanchard is in front of him too. So several cars coming up now with 9 laps to go. They will catch him as well. Again, that's Ian Blanchard in the 2 car. So one of these cars, gets in the wrong groove and holds Howard Weaver up at all, and it could close the door. As now once again, Jacob Fields looks like he's losing. He's back to 0.866 seconds. So I'm beginning to wonder if either one of these cars have faded, or if Howard Weaver was kind of playing cat and mouse with them and kind of letting off a little bit.
I don't know. I just right now I just think Howard Weaver's bad fast.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's just what I think.
Yeah, he definitely is. And if we obviously, barring nothing happens, no self-inflicting incidents here, getting into a wreck or a lap car or anything like that, might be kind of curious. I might ask him if he was kind of toying with these people a little bit, because as soon as they get within about 0.2 seconds, it seems like he flips in a NOS can there a little bit
Yeah.
and just takes off like a rocket again. So definitely something to look into there. But just now noticing too, not sure, no caution came out, so we didn't notice it. Shane James is back in 22nd, 5 laps down, and he is on pit road.
Yeah. Definitely some issues going on with that number 3 HRE Motorsports car. He's definitely just was off really bad tonight, so there's definitely something going amiss.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. Obviously, with 4 laps to go, we won't have a chance here to get a quick interview with him during a break, but never mind. There's a caution, and it looks like it's going to be Jacob Leverstein that brought it out. So we'll see. 3 laps to go. I'm not sure if we're going to get back to green flag racing.
Me either. That could be the race. We'll see.
We'll see here what happened to Jacob. He went through those ruts, but that ain't what caused it. It looks like he actually got into the berm, got sideways, and then had a little bit of help from another driver to spin him around. And in the process of trying to get that car back going, the leaders caught him, and that brought out the caution. But as we go back up to live here, 2 laps to go again. I don't see us going back to green.
No.
Oh, that's unfortunate. That's not the way you want to end a race.
It's not.
Oh, good.
iRacing, if you're listening, this needs fixed, please.
Yeah, definitely nobody wants to end under caution. That is not how a dirt race should end.
No, it shouldn't.
But for what it is the way it is here now.
It is what it is.
I'm sure they definitely they know what they're doing out there. Eventually, I figure they'll change it. Just a matter of coding.
That's it.
So it looks like there will be the white flag in the air with the yellow flag. So this will be the race. So your top 3 are going to be Howard Weaver, Jacob Fields, and John Fiddler. So you had 2 Elite 7 drivers finishing 2nd and 3rd, Fields and Fiddler. But for anyone that picked Howard Weaver to be ahead of Shane James, you did a good pick here as he leads 75 laps. He led every lap of the race. And unfortunately... Oh, go ahead. There it is. Checkered flags are waving. So Howard Weaver is going to be your race winner.
Congratulations to Howard. Go back for a race.
Yeah, that indeed was a great race. And again, other than those last caution, what a race, especially between the 7 and the 3 for such a long time. Again, not sure what happened to the 3. Caution did not come out, but he is 9 laps down on the pit road. Did not finish his race. As we're going to see Howard Weaver do some, I don't know if I'd call that a donut. It's more like a horseshoe, but About a half a donut. So that will do it for him. People are dodging him while he's trying to do donuts here. So we're going to step away here for just a minute. We'll be right back with your post-race show, top 3 interviews. It looks like the 83 of Aaron Paul is going to give Howard Weaver a little nudge of congratulations. So again, we'll be right back here in just a few minutes with your post-race show. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here with your post-race show. Again, coming in a close third place here tonight is the 115 of John Fiddler. First off, John, we saw you coming up. We watched you work your way from about 5th, and we kept watching you get by one at a time, picking people off. Had we had a few more green flag laps and maybe a few more period, do you think you could have run down Fields or Weaver here tonight?
Once I got back into third there, once I got up to third, I was really hoping for a caution because those two were just battling up front. And yeah, it'd have been nice to get a caution and get up there, but I don't think green flag laps, and it wouldn't have mattered. They were moving, both of them.
They definitely were on a roll here tonight. You did get by a few drivers there. Zach Rounds looked like he was making his way. We might have had a top 3, but I'm not sure Weaver was just so fast out there tonight. I believe these are open sets in this series, correct?
Yeah.
So obviously we're going to run here again later. Obviously you're going to make some tweaks. Any major tweaks you're going to do, or is it fairly good setup going forward? Just going to make those little minor things to come back here later in the season?
I think I need to just steal Howard's setup, running the top. He was the only one that could run the top up there. Everybody else was stuck on the bottom. So I normally like to run on the top, and I don't know, maybe we'll figure something out so we can do that. But yeah, he was fast on the top, and nobody else could be.
Well, we know we have some sponsors or shout-outs you want to give, so who would those be for that third place finish here tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my team, Elite 7 Racing. Jacob did a great job. I think all of us got in the top 10 that started tonight, so it was a good night for us. And Water Truck Productions, Drew Hirschko for the paints and all the videos and stuff, does a great job. And you, Charles, here at MaxSpeedTV, and Chris, and everybody else that puts on this race. It's a lot of fun.
All right. Well, again, congrats on third place. Again, finishing just ahead of him here tonight, the 007 of Jacob Fields, a teammate of John Fiddler, of course. You finished second. Same question. Do you think you had anything for Weaver? We saw y'all battle side by side there for just a little bit.
I'm not sure if I had anything for him. I think I could have stayed behind him and got close, but I don't know if I could have made that pass. He had that top side working.
Well, definitely the high side seemed the way to go. as far as groove-wise, it seemed pretty one groove. I say that there were two grooves, but the bottom one just wasn't quite as fast, trying to make the passes anyway. But we know y'all work together as a team to do that, so y'all will probably sit down and see if you can't get that car to run on the high side coming back here. But overall, this track, the competition level, for anyone that is not in iRacing or not in this particular league, what is the competition level like out there? As I do believe you have 42 cars here tonight.
Yeah, man. I mean, once you start racing in these leagues with these guys, it's the competition levels. You're pretty much racing top tier guys on dirt every week. It's pretty crazy, and I'm definitely honored to be able to run up front with all of them.
Well, definitely, we know you're fast, and you proved it here tonight, finishing second. We same with Fiddler, you're on the same team, so we know you have some sponsors, and shout outs to who would those be here for that second place finish here.
As always, all the guys at E7 wouldn't be able to do it without them. Drew Water Truck Productions. Shout out to John on his third place and all the other guys for their top 10. And I'd like to thank you for the broadcast and Chris and them for putting on the league. And congrats to Howard for winning.
All right. And again, congrats on that second place. Good points tonight for you. The man that won the race, the man of the hour, led all 75 laps here. Whether he knew it or not, we had a little side pot going on for the fans out there for some free Bass Pro Shop gift cards. So whoever out there picked Howard Weaver, you won. But first off, Howard, what was it like out there? How slick was that track?
Yeah, it was really tough. It was slick. I couldn't run the bottom like everybody else was, or the people that kept sneaking up under me. I couldn't go down there. I tried it a couple times and lost like 2 or 3 tenths. So for some reason, mine was only fast up top, above the slick. I had a pretty low gear though, and I was just riding, just above the slick spot, and hoping that the groove didn't widen out so far that I'd have to go down low, because then I would have been smoked. So. It was really slick, but I was almost wide open up on the top there trying to make it work.
Well, you led every lap here. I believe it's, again, I'm not sure, but I think it's on a 25 to win here. So not the 100 like last week, but 42 cars. I know a lot of these guys you've probably raced with before. So we just got done asking Fields this. With the competition level here, 42 cars to come away with the win against beating 41 other people. Like, just as far as pride level, what does that give you in a momentum boost going into next week's race?
It doesn't give me a whole lot, probably, because every week is different to me. If it's a track that I'm not very good at, winning at a track I like Knoxville is probably not going to help a lot. But yeah, it's good to be able to beat all these fast guys out here. It's similar to VLR race. All these guys have raced over there, so it's basically like that. So I'm kind of used to running with all of them and racing with them, and to be able to beat them with how good they were moving down low, and it just felt like I had someone right on me the whole race. So it's a good win for sure.
Well, definitely a dominating performance. So any sponsors or shout outs you want to give for that win here tonight?
Yeah, I want to thank Tennessee Punch Bunch, Farmer City Raceway, Team Friday, Team BLR. Shout out to my dad, he's probably watching. MaxSpeedTV for broadcasting. Matt too at Dirt All Access, and let's see, whoever else I put on my form that they sent me this morning to fill out. I don't know.
Well, again, a dominating performance here. You definitely walked away with the win. So congrats on that. But ladies and gentlemen, we are not done just yet. We still have 2 more pieces of business to take care of before we sign off for the night. One of those being your unofficial race results, again, barring any race control issues. But as you've talked to him, the top driver here tonight, Howard Weaver, coming away with the win. Second place, Jacob Fields. Third place, John Fiddler. Fourth place, Tyler Collette. And rounding out the top 5 is Josh Phillips. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice here a little bit. Sixth place goes to Zach Rounds. Seventh place, Brad Dyer. Eighth place, Jason George. Ninth place, Blake Cannon. Rounding out your top 10 here tonight is Drew Herchko. 11th place goes to Mike Molnar. 12th place, Garrett Niebergy. 13th, Mark Molnar. 14th, Virgil Graham. And 15th, Randall Carter. 16th goes to Aaron Paul. 17th, Tommy Rowe. 18th, Ian Blanchard. 19th, Richard Stallings. And 20th, Jacob Leverstein. 21st goes to Jesse Enterkin. Hopefully we got that right again. 22nd, Shane James. 23rd, David Hilleman. 24th, Greg Thompson. Sorry about that. And that rounds it out. Actually, 25th was Chris Sorencia, who didn't make it. So 24 cars didn't make it. So a lot of drivers not making the race here tonight. So that is very unfortunate for these guys. Again, 42, 24 made it. So several guys not making it to the race. But as always, we want to give a big shout out to all the sponsors on board here that do help out on the racing side of things. As always, Dirt Division, Pit Buddies Barbecue, Kings of Dirt, Dirt All Access, Castle Car Wash, Spencer Simulation, or Spinnerd Simulation, sorry Spencer, D. Hemmons Record Service, and Capron Screen Printing and Graphic Design. And on the MaxSpeedTV side of things, big shout out to Sim Speed Shop, HRE Motorsports, Elite 7 Racing, Virtual to Reality.tv, Dirt Co Media House, and Ohio IndyCar League. Again, a big shout out to all the sponsors that put money into MaxSpeedTV and that put money and time into this league. Again, this is the Ultra Dirt Racing Association. On behalf of them and MaxSpeedTV, we will see you at the next race next Sunday night, 6:30 Central, 7:30 Eastern.